Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a brand new video, and here we are with the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Target exclusive Spider-Man 2-pack Kraven's Last Hunt with, of course, Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter. So first of all, happy Easter everybody. By the time I started filming this and going and uploading it, it will be Easter, so those that celebrate, happy Easter. Target is closed, so I was extremely lucky to put in a late online order for store pickup, and my local store fulfilled that order almost immediately. I think 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I got an email saying, hey, it's ready, come pick it up. I jumped in my car, sped over to Target, and made it. Barely made it. Literally, like when I ran through the doors, it was 10:59 p.m. and probably 30 to 40 seconds, and they were ready to lock those doors. But I got there, went right to customer service, gave them my ID. They handed me the bag, and here we have it. So I got very lucky. So for those of you guys that ordered online, your order status is probably back ordered. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I put in an online order for store pickup, knowing that they were closed tomorrow. That way, at least Monday I would have it. But then got lucky that I got it tonight. So double check those order statuses. See if yours got back ordered. Mine did, and I thought I ordered mine pretty early, so be on the lookout for that. But anyway, let's get right to it. This pack looks awesome. We get Spider-Man, we get a beat up Peter Parker, we get a new Kraven, or mostly new Kraven I should say, so pretty awesome. So up at the top they have the Spider-Man logo. They're not doing the little window box like they've done on some. Looking at the artwork on the side of the package, that looks awesome. You see Kraven there. On the other side you see Spider-Man coming out of the grave, and of course on the back of the package it actually shows where the inspiration came from on these two comics here. Let's take a look at that bio. Spider-Man and Kraven unwittingly bonded with an alien symbiote. Spider-Man has the enhanced strength and abilities he needs to take on his deadly enemy, Kraven the Hunter. So I didn't read this story arc, and I know I've heard very good things, and I really should read it, but I didn't think this was the symbiote suit when he was fighting Kraven. You guys let me know down in the comments below, because I think that might be wrong, right? You know, Hasbro tends to get these wrong from time to time, so I think it is wrong. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. There is the UPC, and then I'll put the DPCI somewhere in here so you guys can check it out. Without further ado, let's open up this 2-pack and check out these figures. Before I start showing off the figures, I just wanted to say this insert is really cool, actually having some panels straight from the comics in here with all this blue tint, so it's pretty awesome that they did this. And this is kind of reminiscent of the Dark Phoenix and Cyclops 2-pack that was exclusive to Toys R Us. They really did the same thing, and it even showed, you know, the comic inspiration and everything on the back of the package. So that is actually really cool. I really like the way that looks. Okay, and here are the Spider-Man and Kraven figures out of the package. And I gotta tell you, this Kraven figure is pretty awesome. The Spider-Man, just another Spider-Man. I already got this one. This is, you know, the Sandman Wave symbiote Spider-Man. This one is just a black costume Spider-Man, but I will be displaying this one with that Peter Parker head. And speaking of that Peter Parker head, let's get in closer to look at all the accessories that this 2-pack has to offer. Okay, so here are the accessories, including the spear, that come with this 2-pack. So the spear is the same that we've seen multiple times. We first saw this with the first Kraven figure that came in the Rhino Wave, I think it was. I believe it was the Rhino Wave. It's the same thing, except the feathers on this one are brown with less detail. The wood is a lighter color, and the beads on there are blue as opposed to red of the first one that came in the first Kraven figure, as you can see here. So again, same sculpt, same everything. The Walmart exclusive Black Panther also used the same one, but different color and everything. And I like this first one a lot more than this new one. The new one doesn't look bad, but I prefer the older one. Kraven also comes with the rifle, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm kind of surprised that he comes with this rifle, because in the story of Kraven's Last Hunt, and I did look it up and read on it a little bit to try and have a better understanding of what's going on in that story. Kraven actually uses a rifle very similar to this to actually take his own life. So I'm actually surprised that we got this. It's actually a pretty good looking rifle. The sculpt of it is good. There's not a lot of paint, but for this type of gun, there really doesn't need to be a lot of paint. So this looks very good. We also get a set of interchangeable hands for Spider-Man. So we have a thwip hand for his left and his right, and a fist hand for the left and the right. And the reason why they are thwip hands is because this is not the symbiote suit. This is just a black costume suit that was made either by Black Cat or with Black Cat's help. I'm a little confused on that, you know, when trying to do a little bit of research. But the highlight for the accessories is going to be the beat up Peter Parker head. We've seen the Peter Parker head used a few times. It first came when we had the, what was it? The Mary Jane Spider-Man, the all new, all different Spider-Man 2-pack. Of course, it wasn't a beat up Peter Parker. It was just a straight Peter Parker head. But here we have beat up with some scratches and everything. Big old black eye, and I think it came out looking fantastic. So really cool. Again, I'm going to be using this to display my figure with. All right, let's take a look at the figures. Okay, so I know it's a little bit of a tease, but to get it out of the way, I'm going to go over the black costume Spider-Man first before we move it on into Kraven. So you can see the figures are basically the same. There are very minor differences between these two figures. So in the Sandman wave, we get the black dot on the white of the back of his hand because that's where the web, well, I guess it isn't really web, but that's where he shoots web from. It's just plain white on this figure. The spider logo itself is a little bit different, whereas this, the upper part of the body is a little bit bigger on his chest, where on this one it's a little bit smaller, and then the spider actually comes down a little bit further all the way to the bottom of that torso, and then it basically hits his waist, whereas this one you could see it doesn't go down nearly as far. As far as how the paint looks, this one I would say probably looks a little bit better. The spider head is actually a little bit different as well. The white is a little bit brighter on this one. They're pretty much the same, but this one actually, the black spider legs, or the black in between the legs, actually came out looking better on this one. But on the back, let's see, on the back it's not as nice, whereas I think this one came out a little bit cleaner. So they have both their positives and their negatives. But again, I'm going to be displaying this one with the Peter Parker head, if I can even get it on. I'm having all kinds of problems switching out heads lately. So I will be displaying this figure with the beat up Peter Parker head, and I think that looks awesome. Now to take a look at Kraven. Okay, and here are the two Kraven figures side by side, and as you can see, they are almost entirely the same as far as body parts. The knees down are different on this new one, but the upper legs, the upper torso, the arms and hands are all the same. New head sculpt, of course, and then of course this one has that necklace that this one does not come with. So there are some differences in terms of that. So this was more of a modern look on Kraven. This is the classic look for Kraven, and I think this is the one that everybody is really going to want, although I do think this is still a very, very good looking figure with some awesome things like those knee guards, the knee pads there with the skull. This figure just looks really awesome, whereas this one is a whole nother type of crazy because that head sculpt is super like over exaggerated. It's awesome. And we'll get in closer to take a look at that, but you could see again mostly the same figure, but this one has a new belt, and then the lower legs are different along with the head sculpt. But the vest, the lion vest and everything, that is completely the same but painted very differently. This one wins in terms of the paint detail and how it looks. This one was good, but this one I think does look a little bit better. It gets darker and we get a nice dark brown wash on it. This one was like a blondish color and then a little bit of blonde highlights in it, whereas this has that wash effect throughout the entirety of it. And this new one it doesn't. It's still good, but in my opinion, this one looks better. Now, let's take a closer look at Kraven. Okay, so here is Kraven up close, and you could see that menacing head sculpt came out looking really good. You could see he's got a little bit of purple in his eyes to really show kind of that anger look and tired look. So it's really good. I really like the way it came out. The teeth, gritting his teeth, the anger look to it. The paint apps on the teeth came out looking really good. The eyebrows are crazy. I got a little black paint smudge on his forehead. It's not a big deal at all, but the paint apps for the most part came out really good. I really like the way that looks. Looking at the lion, again, I think this one looks a little bit better. I like that they even put in the little textured detail of where the whiskers would be for a lion's head. And then the paint is good. Green eyes on this one. We get a little bit of tan, and then into a lighter color to show kind of the effects of, or how an actual tiger face would look. One thing I didn't notice on the comparison is there's actually painted on chest hair on this figure, whereas the previous Kraven did not have painted on chest hair, so that's pretty cool. Looking at the entire lion vest with the mane, looks very good. Again, that wash came out looking great. You know, we get the leopard print around the arm. It's done with a darker brownish color, whereas the previous one had a little bit of a lighter color, but kind of the same. The arm wraps, these are the same that we saw on the previous figure. This belt, it's a kind of a loose belt. It cannot come off. It's on there, but it's got these spikes on it, and those come out looking pretty good. Some sloppy paint on some of the spots, but it's not terrible by any means, other than, you know, they didn't paint the bottom of the spikes. They're all still brown. It's just these top parts that they painted, but not a big deal. And then we get the leopard print throughout the figure. And it looks like he's wearing capris right at that boot cut there. And then his feet look weird because of the type of shoes he's wearing. But it is what it is when we're talking comic accuracy. But it's not terrible. It just looks a little funny when you focus on that. But overall, I think the figure looks really good. Now let's zoom out. We'll go over some articulation on this guy. Okay, so I'll go over the articulation only on Kraven because we've seen the Pizza Spidey mold used multiple times over and over again. I'm just not going to go over the articulation. Chances are you guys have seen the articulation. I know some of you guys want to see articulation on every single figure and every single video, but it does become very redundant with some figures. So looking at Kraven, so the head can go side to side, of course. You get a little bit of pivot in there. He can look all the way down, which is great. He can look up almost all the way. The lion mane does kind of get in the way a little bit. Shoulders go up that high. You can get a full rotation, of course. Whoops. Maybe not. That lion mane gets in the way. Otherwise, you would be able to. There is an upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow there. Wrist swivels and hinges, and you're going to get that on both sides. The ab crunch is there, but the vest makes it a little bit hard. You can crunch him back that much going forward. If you got to work the vest around the belt, you can get him to crunch that much forward, which is not a whole lot, I know, but there is some in there. Okay, and there is waist swivel there. You might have to move the belt down a little bit to get that to work, but it is there. Legs go out that far apart. Upper thigh cut there. Got to break it in a little bit. You get a double jointed knee, which works great. You get a boot cut or calf cut in this case, right there, right at the end of the pant leg, and then the foot hinges down, hinges all the way up, and then of course we get ankle pivot. So great articulation on Kraven. You get good enough motion for being a fairly agile character, and I think it works really well. So there it is, the new Target exclusive 2-pack. Again, double check your orders because it could be on back order. See if you can order online for store pickup and get them on Monday, since again Target is closed today because it is Easter. But in my opinion, this is a fantastic 2-pack, and I'm always excited to get Spider-Man characters. Even though we basically have the figures already, there are enough updates to the Kraven to make it really worthwhile, and that Peter Parker beat-up head sculpt came out looking really good. So it's a nice addition to the collection. So if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Double check your orders. If you got back ordered, comment, that way people are aware, and hopefully everybody will kind of see what's going on with their orders and what Target is doing. And then are you guys going to be picking this up, or are you guys going to pass? I'm curious to know. Let me know. Other than that, if you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up. If you guys haven't already subscribed, please do so now. Hit that notification bell as well. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.